Hey, in this Blender tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create this car factory environment completely from scratch. I'll be covering basic modeling of this environment, lighting the interior, and texturing using materials from BlenderKit. If you want access to this entire blend file, you can download it by becoming a member on my Patreon. Once you've joined my Patreon community, you can get access to all my YouTube tutorial files and many other perks. So consider becoming a member. It's the best way to support me as a content creator. Okay, let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, to get started, let's first import in a free car model. Now, you can use any car model you like. This car is going to be surrounded by a little tunnel or metal corridor. So I'm going to be using the Ferrari A12 here. Shift A, let's add in a plane. Go to the modifier tab and add in a mirror modifier. Go into edit mode. We can use the move tool here. Let's go to top view. Let's move over this plane to the side. Move it right here. Then let's hit S and then X, and then I'm going to scale it in like this. Now go to your face select your top face, go to -Y, hit E to extrude up, hit R, Y, let's rotate it. E again, let's extrude this way. R, Y again, straighten it out. Check mark this clipping tool, hit E, and then bring him to the middle. Click. Go to the back, select these faces by holding shift. Then you can drag back like this. Let's go to top view, hit A to select everything. Let's move it to the middle. SY, scale it in. Okay, then hit Control R. Let's add a loop cut. We'll drag it in a little bit. That's good. Use the face select this face, hit E, extrude down. I also want to bevel it, so let's use this bevel tool. Click on this and drag. You can hold shift to control it slowly. Select this face, hit I to inset, make a new face, and then E, extrude inside. We'll do the same thing on this side here, so Control R, another loop cut. Face select tool, select this face, hit E, extrude out. We can bevel it. Select the inside face, I, and then E, extrude inside. Same thing at the bottom, Control R, loop cut, face select, and we'll bevel it. Now let's add in some more loop cuts here, so Control R, and you can use your mouse wheel to add in loop cuts like this. Scroll on your mouse wheel. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Click, and then you can drag and then hit escape on your keyboard to put them back in place. Again, bevel. It's good enough. Let's add in loop cuts at the end here. So loop cut here. And one final loop cut at the end here. Tab back out to go into object mode. Let's go to the material properties. Let's do new material. And we'll make the material metallic. Roughness is going to be 0.1. We can make it a little dark as well. To see what's going on, let's go to our output properties, our render settings. Let's go switch to cycles. Switch your device to GPU if you have one. Highly recommended for faster rendering. Let's go into rendered mode. Let's go to the world tab and let's change the light to dark. Let's go back into edit mode. Let's select these inside faces. So with our face select tool. So boom, hold shift, boom, boom, boom. Hit I, and then E. Go to the material properties. Let's add in a new material slot by hitting this plus icon. Hit new. Let's go down. We'll change the emission, and let's go to rendered mode. We'll do the emission at 1, and nothing's happened yet, and that's because we got to select the second material slot here and hit assign. Now we have some color, or some light, I should say. We can crank up the light to 4.5, or let's just do 4. It's looking pretty good. Now let's go back to solid mode. Let's rename this to metal corridor. Let's add in a floor by hitting Shift A. Plane, let's do S and then hit 8 on your keyboard, enter. We'll hit N. I'll actually make this about 50 meters. I'll make it pretty wide, about 20. Edit mode, Control R. Let's add in 2 loop cuts. Click and then hit escape to put it back in place. S and then X, let's scale it inside like this. Let's go ahead and bevel it. Just need a small bevel, yeah. That's good enough. Use the face select tool, select the middle face. And let's do E and let's move it down just slightly. Let's go ahead and start adding in some materials. So let's go back to rendered mode. Let's click on our floor and rename it to, we'll rename it to ground. Hit new. And if you have the BlenderKit add-on enabled, it's completely free and you get access to a ton of free assets as well as you get access to a ton of free materials. Watch this. I can just, search for tile. I think I like this. Let's go with this. I'm going to change the color of the Ferrari actually. Let's change the base color to something more dark, and the flakes are going to be white. Select your ground, hit Control A, apply scale. And that's looking much better. Now, I also want a material for the middle part here. So select each face here. Let's go ahead and hit the plus icon. Let's hit new and hit assign. Now we can go ahead and search for our dark tiles and drag it onto our middle material right here. And now we have a nice material for the middle as well. Let's go ahead and Shift D duplicate this, bring it up top, and this will be the ceiling, and we'll just minus out all the materials here. Rename that to ceiling. We'll go ahead and make some pillars as well. So Shift A, add in a cube, bring it back here. Let's do S and then Shift Z. Go into edit mode, GZ, bring it up. So the origin point is at the bottom. This will make it easier to scale. So G and then Z. And we'll move it up. We'll select the bottom face here. E to extrude. And then S to scale up. And E to extrude again. And then we'll just drag it down. Let's add in a camera. Shift A. Camera. Let's go to camera view. Shift and then this button here, we'll control it with our keyboard. Kind of want to make this smaller, so let's do S. Also change this to 35 millimeters. Let's move that pillar over here. We'll give the pillar a material as well. So let's go to materials here. Let's search for concrete. We can go ahead and apply, it doesn't matter. Let's apply this concrete material onto our thing. Let's go to rendered mode. Let's go into edit mode. With the entire material selected, we'll hit U and then Q projection. Now we'll just hit Alt D and we'll duplicate this over. And we'll go back to solid mode. Let's go ahead and duplicate it again by hitting Alt D, duplicate. Now we got some pillars in the back. I want to give it some more thickness as well. So you know what? Let's go ahead and go into edit mode. Let's go to the side view here. And let's select all these faces, even the bottom ones. Hide this. Let's go to top view. Let's select all the top faces. Then we'll hit Alt S. We'll just scale them outwards like this. Gives it a little more of some thickness. Okay, this is what we got so far, but we can go a step further. We're gonna go ahead and add in an image texture at the back here. So to do that, I'm gonna go on ChatGPT and I asked it to generate an image of a realistic interior car factory backdrop. Unfortunately, when it generated the image, it added cars to the middle of the image here. So I asked it, please remove any cars in the middle of the image and remove any exit doors at the end of the factory. And so yeah, I went with this image right here. I downloaded and saved it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and collapse this window. I'm going to go ahead, Shift A. I'm going to do image, mesh plane, right there, image textures, boom. Let's go to our camera. Let's go ahead and switch this to render region, crop to render region. And I'm going to scale up this image. until it covers the entire backdrop. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and go drag this window again. Let's go to the shader editor. Let's plug this color socket into the emission. Plug the space color into the emission color. Increase the strength to 1. And there you got some background right there. But I'd want it to be a little more less light. So I'm going to make it 0.1. 0.02. Okay, that works. Let's go ahead and add some bevel to this because these edges are way too sharp. So let's go ahead, add modifier, bevel modifier. We can also add some bevels to this as well. These pillars, bevel. Okay, but here's the thing. I applied the bevel modifier to this pillar, but I need to apply it to all the other pillars as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select all the other pillars first, and then select the pillar with the modifier last. Then Control L on your keyboard, and then copy modifiers. And now all the modifiers are applied on the other pillars. Let's go ahead and add in a mini camera animation. So let's have the camera start up top actually first. We'll add I to add in a keyframe on frame 1, and we'll have the animation end at frame 120. And so last frame is going to be a little closer. And this, it will end up right here. So I, let's play the animation. Maybe I want it to go a little more forward. So let's actually have it go forward. I, and we'll delete this middle keyframe here. So it'll end up here. Now, if you still want to add some more stuff, you can add in some robot arms to this environment here. If you have the BlenderKit add-on, you can search for some free robotic arms, and I'll type in robot arm. We'll use this one here. Let's go ahead and drag that into our scene. Add some bones. So select the bones. We'll go to pose mode. Select this bone, and we'll just move it down. Something like that. Now for the final step, I actually want to animate the lights turning on. Let's go to the material properties. Let's go over to the light. Let's actually have the strength start at 0 here. At around, let's say frame 10, I will add a keyframe to the strength. I'll go 3 frames ahead, 1, 2, 3. I'll turn up the strength to 4, add in a keyframe, and now the lights will turn on frame 10. Next, I'm gonna add in some spotlights to the front headlights of the car. So first, I'll select this glass material here, and I'm going to separate it from any other material so it's not linked. So I'll click on this button here. Then I'll hit H to hide it. Then I'm gonna go on the inside bulbs right here. Again, I'm gonna separate it from any other material, any other glass material on the car. So I'll just click on this, separate it. Now I'll go down to emission. I'll change the emission color to white, and I'll change the strength to 50. Now, if you go into render mode, these front headlights are emitting light, but it's not gonna be enough because we still need some light to be shining at the front here. So let's go back to solid mode, Shift A, and let's add in our spotlight. Spotlight. The strength is gonna be 300. Shadow caustics, max bounce maybe 100. Radius is gonna be 0.16. I'll have it blend a lot. And now we got some shine at the front here. Next, I'm gonna add in some volumetric fog so we can see the light even more. So Shift A, add in a giant cube by hitting S and then scaling it up. Open up a new window here, go to the shader editor. We'll delete this. We'll add in a principal volume. Plug that into the volume. Make sure you plug it into the volume, not the surface. Make the density 0.01. Enter. And now if you go back into rendered mode, go into render mode, and now we can see the light in the fog here, which is pretty cool. So when the lights turn on, when these lights turn on, then I want the fog to turn off. So I had the lights turn on frame 30. Select the fog here, the strength right here, the density. Insert keyframe. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we'll make it 0. Insert keyframe. We'll also go to the render properties, and you gotta make sure you have volume set to 2 under your light paths settings. And then we'll add in a keyframe on frame 30, add in a keyframe. and then go to frame 33 and we'll turn it to 0. Insert keyframe. Now when the lights turn on, you'll see the lights turn on right here. So when they turn on, the fog will turn off. One last thing you could do is you could duplicate this car model here or whatever car model you're using. Select all the parts as well. We actually don't need the wheels. So once you select all the parts, just hit Alt-D and then X, and then we can move it to the side here. And then Alt-D again, and you can just scatter it all across your scene. Alt-D allows you to keep the mesh data linked to this one mesh here instead of duplicating it and adding more geometry to your scene. Yep, ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and hit render animation. Again, if you want access to this entire blend file, you can download it by becoming a member on my Patreon. Become a member and get access to all my future tutorial files as well. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new tutorials from me. Until next time, it's been your boy, Only RJ. Peace.